solution, 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 solution. And a wise man once said, approach, consistent approach at the right direction is an act of madness. So you keep doing the same thing, the same thing, the same thing, the same thing. You must start thinking of how best can I do that same thing. So it is the how best that takes you out of the cost of living that is high. So let's look at how best we can start doing things to make life easier for us, because we are not, one of the greatest calamity of man is the capacity to complain. Complain, 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 excuse, 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 blame, 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 blame. And all of that has no pathway to growth. Growth is high cost of reasoning applied, then growth will come. I believe this will aid someone's thought to start today.
Thank you so much, sir. What a way to start. Cost of living is high, and cost of reasoning must also be high. We have always been swayed by the cost of living. Pay attention to the cost of our reasoning. Thank you so much, sir, for that. Now we're going to start off with a question, and it's very sensitive because this is from a pastor in Benue State. He says, "Good morning, Bishop. Bishop, I like that you pray for us who do ministry here in Benue State because of the high level of insecurity, especially for some of us who run ministries in the rural centers. My question would be, sir, if you were to pastor a church here in the rural center with so much of anxiety and insecurity, sir, how would you do ministry and what advice would you give to us, especially with the level of insecurity we are having now as regards the church, our flocks, and our security?"
Wisdom should always be a practical event in our lives. We live in a community today where people are challenging the presence of God. So they are trying to make us look like the victim, like the problem. They say religion is the problem, pastors are the problem, and all whatnot. And we have to be very wise. The conditions where he finds himself, we need him to pray and to prepare. So prayer and preparation is key. He shouldn't just pray. He should prepare. He should check his environment, the people within his circle. Can he trust them? Because some of the crises we face in life is an internal crisis. People around you are the reasons why you're having problems. I have always tried to tell people that if your team is not trusted, you're going to be a victim of a lot of errors. So if somebody around you has conversations, those conversations will affect you at the end of the day. They are unhealthy. So he's in a place where his circle should be as defensive as possible. So he starts from his home, start from his team in the church. When these two teams are well fortified, then he will enjoy the defense he desires. But if he does not work on these two teams and there is somebody in the system who talks, who behaves anyhow, that can bring the external crisis that they are facing there to his church. Though we will say God forbid, but preparation also is a necessity, is necessary in a platform of such crisis. Wisely knowing what you say, how you say it, when to do your services, how people should go home, and all of that. Those things have to be planned. And if he does that, he will not be a part of those crises.
All right, so the next question says, "Good morning, Bishop. Thank you for Gospel Manager. I just want to be very direct in my question. Sir, please, how do I distinguish between a good opportunity and a divine leading?" This is from Patrick from Abuja.
You see, the hunger for a good life is becoming a very strong nightmare to people. This hunger to live a good life, to have a better way of living is a problem. So sometimes Every open door is not God's door. Sometimes people bring offers. I have been a victim of. I was almost becoming a victim of an offer from an external body in one of the parts of this country. They called the amount of. I was a pastor at that time. We had nothing, and then I spoke to my wife about it. She asked me to pray. At that time, we are really struggling to meet things work. So while I was in my office trying to prepare to meet them, they came to one of the centers in this city. On my way to them, I heard they are fraudsters. So I came to them, served them their food, tell the restaurant to take care of, because I'm a popular face now. So they attended to them, and then from there I just told them I'm not doing again with a phone call. So the eagerness of getting success, sometimes we may be blindfolded to know that God is not involved in it. And if you are not a person who listens, who goes back to think, you will not be able to hear from God. Sometimes God speaks through men to you. But you are blind, you are too proud, you are too self-assured. Self-assurance at one time becomes a danger to your own life. When somebody is too self-assured, I know what to say, I know what to do. And then very simple advice that would have helped you, you ignored it. So let us be careful to know what is the will of God and the voice of God. And sometimes if we are not hearing from God, we should be seeking counsel. Just go and seek counsel. This is what I have as an offer. What do you think? The next person's view can take you out of crisis. So let's be careful with this hunger to make success. Is damaging. You can invest this you are not supposed to invest. You can get yourself employed into borrowing. And you can make you sell things that you're not supposed to sell because you want to get yourself involved with a financial scheme so you can make certain level of success. I have always said, growing slow is better than growing fast and end up useless. Grow slow, but make sure you are at the line where you're supposed to make progress. Than growing very speedy, and after 10 years, you are paying bills you're not supposed to pay. So it's not wise, and it's because people are not hearing from God, or there is nobody counseling you. Because no matter your level, there should be an advisor in your life. No matter your level, who is advising you. At every level, there should be somebody above you who is talking to you on how to live your life, who observes you, who is the reason why you are correcting your errors. When you don't have that, you don't have a future. Your problem is not devil, now your problem is human. You have refused to have a counselor who can put you right, and that's where success comes from. Success comes from being counseled, being advised. And when you keep doing that to yourself, you will learn and know the right path to take, and know the ones you can avoid, and then you're going to stay successful.
Thank you so much, sir. All right, this next one says, "Good morning, Bishop. Sir, please, what steps should I take when I feel stuck between two career or business options?"
We have chosen to live a divided life. To me, there's nothing like options and choices. Every man has a part to trade on. Trade on there. I've always said, if you are busy in a thing, get busy in it. Success begins with what you do. What are you doing? Success starts with what you do. When I hear people say they were doing the wrong job and they were not satisfied, I'm asking myself a question: which one is the wrong job, for the goodness sake? If privilege brings you to a thing and you can do it, why are you not doing that thing and growing it? So you want to tell me that Joseph started working for his father? It was not a wrong job. Potiphar's house, it was not a wrong job. Prison, everywhere he entered, it was useful to the system. then got to Pharaoh and became more useful. So it's you. You are not accepting what you do. So you feel you are meant for something else. So it makes you divided. That acceptance that this is what I do is all about the growth we are talking about. Jesus accepted the cross. That's why he died. David accepted being a shepherd. With all the gifts that were mentioned around David's life in 1 Samuel 16:18. But if you look at those gifts that were outlined over him, they did not put the gift of being a shepherd. There was nothing like that. But the gift of being a shepherd is the essence of why he was made a king. It was not because he played music. It's not because he was a man of war. It was the gift of being a shepherd that made him a king. So we play down everything. A lot of things have been neglected. Whatever you are doing, pay attention to it. I don't see why somebody should be divided in this life. You don't need to do that. You're just hurting yourself. Grow the little thing you do. And then if that thing expands and begin to open doors for you, fine. Why would you be divided in this life? You're not supposed to be. What amount of results have you made in the little thing you are doing? Can you tell me what you have produced? What have you generated from the one you are doing there? It reminds you of everything. And you want another one. What have you done with the one you are doing? You have not achieved anything with that first thing you have. There is nothing to show for. When you're talking that you're not created for that. Then will a man be created for the cross? Somebody was born to die. Is that the destiny? Somebody was born to go to prison and then throw into a pit. Is as life opens up to you, whatever life pushes you into, be the best of it. It is through that platform you begin to generate certain energy for a certain life you live for yourself. Well, all this confusion of people trying to say, I have divided up. You need to know what you want to do with yourself. You need to know. I've always said, why would God take somebody to a place? There's a purpose for everything. Before David was made king, he was sent to Saul's house. Why was he sent there? Why was Samuel sent to Eli? Why was Samuel sent to Eli? Why? Because there was a tied destiny to be a prophet. David had a tied destiny to be a king. Let's understand that sometimes God is leading you to a path. You are choosing your own path yourself. So then the crisis begins from there. Because you are being led by God to a path. You are saying no, no, no. And that thing you are doing to yourself, you are making your choice over God. And God is saying, this thing is what I wanted to give to you. You may not be perfect in it, but that is your end in the future. Because I don't see any way that if we had told Joseph in his father's house that he'd be prime minister, he will look at you and laugh. The father is a farmer. The father is a cattle raider. How would a cattle raider's son be a prime minister? If you had come and told David in his house that if the father told him that he would be king, what would he say to the father? He would just laugh. One, he's not a soldier. He's not among the cabinet of Saul. How is he going to be king? Will he dethrone Saul? Because the idea of becoming king was far from it. How did he become king? Because he was at the central part of God's way. Find out God's purpose for your life. That is the settlement of everybody's life. Not your choice. God's will for your life. And stay there and follow it. And what it will produce you, it will amaze you what God will produce from your life. You can't produce for yourself. He has to produce for you.
All right. Now, this one says, Good morning, Bishop. My question would be on parenting. Over the years, I've seen how parents deal with some rebellious children, and then I've also seen parents who have gifted children but just allow them express themselves however they deem it fit. So, sir, please, how can parents really identify and nurture the unique calling or talents in their children, especially children who are multi-talented?
The identification of that word multi-talented already will give a child a sense of imaging that you may not like. So let us first build the Jesus nature in our children. The value of Christ, the value of service, the value of loving God. And then when they progress with that strength, whatever gift the child has, he will succeed with it. And it's simple. One of the things that the church provides for you is the expression of gifts. So the church opens you to it. So when you notice a child has certain intellectual capacity, all you need to do is to first give him the right foundation: Jesus, God, church. If he has all of that, then you are consistently checking the child to know if he's progressing academically in that line, or if he's progressing in his gift, and encourage him once in a while with conversations with products that looks like what he has. But first, don't start with the gift, start with Jesus. If you start with Jesus, the gift will be sustained. But if you start with the gift and play down Jesus, the gift will destroy the child. And that's why I don't tell people they are gifted, you are talented, you are that. Just get Jesus into your heart. And then I try to give instructions without the person knowing. Go and do this, go and do this, go and do this. Because I have identified it already. But because man gets very personal. If I praise you too much, it may become a problem to you. So I tend to play down compliment a lot because people are not mature enough to handle compliment. It looks as if we prefer corrections. Because if you can handle compliment, why not receive it every day? The compliments sometimes end up destroying the people you are complimenting because their mind capacity is poor. It will make them not to work hard anymore, make them not to stretch anymore. They feel they have arrived. And that feeling that you have arrived is what baffles me. A man of 70 is building a church, and you say you have arrived. You say you have speed in ministry. A man of 70, with all the height of ministry, is still building a cathedral at 70. A woman who marries a wealthy man is still praying for 2-3 hours for the family, for the ministry to grow. And you are not praying. You are relaxed, and everybody is a messenger around you. So you see, I believe it's a wrong desire in people. And until we start dealing with that, we won't be able to get the best out. So let's try to understand that we can do better with a lot of things we do with life and come up with the healthiest of results. Because at the end of the day, what am I looking for? You know, to gain access to the result. That's what I need. So let's get it right. And a child can be productive in the future if we give the right foundation. First, Jesus, education, then skill. Remember, between the Jesus is God, character, then skill, maybe intellectual capacity, and then maintenance of that child. Because the child has to be maintained. Because if the child is not maintained and he grows without those things, you will ruin the child's life. By too much of making him look as if he's the best gift everywhere. And some young folks are feeling gifted. They feel intelligent. So they become abusive because parents did not maintain those children to know that you are not special than them. You are not better than the others. It's just a life privilege. And you can lose it if you're not guided. So that will help every parent to know what to do.
Now, this next one is from Comrade Anthony Ikediashi. He says, "Good morning, Bishop. Bishop, please, if you could sit one on one with a Nigerian youth who feels lost, angry, and tired of our political system and life in general, what would you tell them first?"
I feel the orientation, the messaging that we have is wrong. When I look at everything happening to this country, I just feel we are only correcting the country. We are really, really correcting the country. And please, corrections are made to repattern people, not to gain viewership. But today's correction is gaining access to what? Air traffic. So I don't understand. If we want a better Nigeria, our correcting process is wrong. Somebody just go to the media and just correct everybody. Is that correction? He's trying to gain traffic. He's not correcting anybody. So if we want to really get this country to the place where we want, let us first of all ask ourselves 3 major questions. How did we get here? It's not who to correct, there's a problem now. How did we get here? Number 2, and what do we do to come out of it? And number 3, who do we need to help us? We have not been able to ask these 3 questions. And you see, what I said now has nothing to do with who to correct. Because if I want to solve it, I have to know what happened that got us here. And how. And who do we need? Because leaders have to be raised. Selfless. I'm not talking about vagabonds. Selfless, intellectual minds, spiritually sound youth, men are raised. I repeat again. Selfless, intellectual minds, spiritually sound, heavily charactered men and ladies raised with deep honesty. That's when we will change the culture of this country. It's all these corrections people make to gain traffic. Those are just useless. They are making monies for themselves. They are not helping us. They claim to, but I know they are not helping anybody. So it is these qualities that will change our youth system and the future. Number 1, you have to be selfless. Number 2, you have to be intellectually sound. Number 3, you have to be character sound. Number 4, you have to be spiritually sound. And number 5, you have to be honest. The Nelson Mandelas of their time had these qualities in them. They could sit before offers and reject offers because they saw the future of their country. They had privileges to travel overseas and live their lives. They choose to stay in prison. How many of our youth from the age of 20 to 40 can accept that kind of offer to stay in prison today? So before we start saying Nigeria is bad, Nigeria is this, politicians are this, I want to ask a simple question. These politicians, how many of our youth between the age of 15 to 40 are preparing themselves for leadership? And let me use here as an example. Now, this cup is here. The way it is. And we finished. And then nobody saw you to pick it up. That's the problem that we have. Our youths are not observant. They can't keep relationships. Every relationship they keep is the one that favors them. If you correct them, they get angry. They are close to people who compliment them. They are not vision-oriented people. So the thing is a grassroots issue. People are not orientive in the right direction. So until we get that right, we'll just be correcting people. You correct your leader, correct your father's mate. That's what you do. You will correct your father's mate. Somebody who's supposed to be your father's mate. You will correct him, correct people who are bigger than you, because you have the media space to correct people. Talk to people anyhow you like, behave anyhow you want. And that's a leader that wants to lead people tomorrow. How are you going to lead people with that kind of approach? Because you are supposed to be balancing your approach. There's something in this person I need to learn. This person I need to learn. So it's your selflessness that will make you get access to be taught. So when you are not listening to anybody, how do you get there? So the problem is not politicians. How many of our youths in this country understand why we are where we are and what they have to do to come out of it? So until we get that right, we'll still be where we are, and then these men will still go into offices. How can somebody stay in a place for 30 years in an office? What's the problem? 40 years. The man in Cameroon has been there for 40 years as a president. Hey, we don't have, he's talked to a young man about, I have them here, responsibility. I just say, this is what to do. You come back, you still see, they're still making the same mistake. So the thing is not all about corruption. It's all about the mind of the people and what they see in the next 10 years of their lives. They just complain, blame, complain. I keep saying it. This complain and blame, I don't know who taught us. There's work to do, you are complaining. There's work to do, you are giving excuses. But there are things you are supposed to do. And it's very poor. And then the country is not raising healthy men, healthy ladies. And it's check around our houses. Check around the church. Check the church centers and our home centers and our office centers. Leave politicians alone. Check around us here. It's the same thing happening everywhere. There's no drive in people. They don't have foresight. No drive. Very lazy young men and women everywhere. So that's the problem. No extra mile mentality. There is no extra mile mentality. A lot of things are, if you do too much, they complain. If you do less, they are okay. They like just easy life. And nation building takes a lot. A lot to build. How can our president be 70 years old? The largest country in Africa. Why? Why? Where are the ambitious people from the age of 40? It's the problem of the youth. If they get these things done, they will get the best part of it.
All right, so this one says, good morning, Bishop. I totally agree with you on your line of thoughts. But then let's talk about power grabbing. It said that the pallbearer of a man who had been there for 40 years, he has also done some lot of power grabbing, hence blocking opportunities for young people like me to thrive. So in the light of youths coming out to take over, not necessarily taking over government, but also contributing our own quota to the development of our politics and our nationhood. How can we navigate this part, especially in the case of power grabbing and our power toxic politicians, who against all odds, because of their position, can even drag the matter until it gets to court and gets so influensive such that we no longer have faith in our judiciary because we know they are simply the puppets of the politicians. For example, my immediate elder brother ran elections in our state for the House of Assembly It was so obvious that he won that election. But of course, you know the Nigerian thing. He went to court and then they swayed it to the other opponent. He tried to cause a row, but my elder brother is a very peace-loving person, as he takes a role model from Goodluck Jonathan, so he laid it low. Now 2027 is coming up. He is saying he's not interested because he had so much funds invested.
And why do we think it's only politics that we can make a difference in this country? Why can't this for people? Industrial side. That if we start getting effective as young hearts and young brains, we will definitely, with God on our side, we will definitely take over systems of leadership. It's not all about getting out to go and riot, talk anyhow. That's the problem. The youth of today is their life is more on the media than governance. They are more on the air. They are not doing anything. They will just go and take camera and stand and begin to talk. That's everything they do. Strong leadership. It takes strong head and very strong planning. Sometimes it can take you 20 years to get that thing done. Some 10 years. So it's not there. It's check around us, check the way everybody's behaving as if they need to be reminded. How can they be reminded? You want to be a leader and change the system. It's like you are doing something. Let me use for example now. You are doing something in a sector, and the leader doesn't know how to do it, and you have a better idea. And instead of you to start developing that idea, so it can be sold and the leader can buy it, you are using the idea against the system, and you want to grow at the same time. And that's our problem. We like to use things against systems. Instead of you to use that thing and progress the place, you are using the thing against the place. He doesn't know anything. Look at him. I am exposed. All those things you're doing to yourself. You are a sign of not knowing that the future belongs to you. If you know that the future belongs to you, you'll be learning the corrections you are giving. And knowing that tomorrow I can be the leader in this thing. So this thing that I'm supposed to, let me learn it and add to the one I have. That's not what we are doing today. So don't blame these old men all over the place. Because, okay, the coalition they are having now for new party, is there any young person there? What are the people there? The same old faces. Is there any new person there? The same old minds going back to do the same thing. All we have is the power online. Condemning people and talking against people, creating nonsense for ourselves. No reasonable conversations going on. No healthy conversation. Even me as I'm sitting here, when I hear you talk, you are defensive. Instead of listening, I'm the one talking to you. You are defending yourself. I say, this one is an idiot. You have the privilege to talk to me, you're defending yourself. What are you defending yourself? I'm your father, and I'm trying to tell you to be better. You're trying to prove to me that you know. No problem. You are supposed to be learning from me, and you're telling me that you know. No problem. And then there's no sign that you have intellectual capacity. Your strength is poor. Your spiritual capacity is weak. Your reasoning is weak. Your relating with people is poor. You don't have a firm belief for yourself. You are a human that is conditioned by circumstances. And that's supposed to be somebody who should be taking over you. So how do you survive that? And then you want to now go and win an election with people who have been there before. And how are you going to do that? So the thing is dicey here. And we can talk against them from now to tomorrow. 2027 is coming. The same people will run for elections and win. We will only be talking. When they finish, they keep quiet. Abi, that's all. We will now go on the media. This one have his TV, Paul's TV, James TV, Silas TV, Fonaya's TV. You now talk against the government. After 6 months, they will stop. They might have drawn the traffic they need on air. When they finish from there, they make small money, put in the pocket. They come and say, okay, I'm going to give 10 persons 5,000 naira as a giveaway. The real stuff is in the rooms. Midnight conversations. 2 a.m. By that time they are asleep. Real stuff, real conversations. 4 a.m. in the morning. By that time they are dead asleep with their phones. So it's only good to take a revival from God to raise young hearts to take over this country, because it's not going to happen. Thank you.
Now, you'd want to increase and also learn, grow in your spiritual work with God. Then take advantage of the Honor Bible Institute. Classes are today and tomorrow. Note that this is the last 4 days edition. June edition. Today is for 4:30 p.m. and tomorrow at 8 a.m. it continues. So please make yourself available and take this opportunity to learn at the feet of God, especially for our folks who just gave their life to Christ and you want to really understand what the Bible says as a foundation for your Christendom. Now, be part of it. It's at Rehoboth City on World International, and the time again is 4:30 p.m. today and 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. Now, also, I'd like to especially invite you on behalf of our First Lady, Reverend Vivian Gold Egbe, for a special women's interdenominational prayer program titled Miracles with the First Lady, Reverend Vivian Gold Egbe. It starts today at 12 midnight. You know what happens when women pray at midnight? Miracles happen as they stand in the gap on behalf of their families, their children, their businesses, and even the church. Now, something special is happening from 9 p.m. as the women also, courtesy of the First Lady, will be given free gifts and also free medicals to as many women that can make their way in Rehoboth City today. So take advantage of this opportunity. Get your friends, especially those who are intending couples, come and pray yourself out. Pray for the future of your relationships. Pray for the future and commit your marriage process and procedure, your courtship, whatever it is, to God's hands. And also those who are already married, pray on behalf of your husband, on behalf of your pastor, on behalf of your children, especially your male children, that God is going to stand for them, especially in these trying times. And we hope to see you there. Our doors are open to receive you, and God bless you as you do so. Now, don't forget, something marvelous is happening this coming Sunday. It's our wine conference and also the celebration of our fathers as we join the globe to celebrate Father's Day. It's our earnest prayer that God will raise godly men filled with wisdom, intellectual capacity to transcend God's will for their lives and their families to across societies and different spheres of life. There is the wine conference, and God's servant will be teaching us on the Abigail's dream for marriage and parenting. The Abigail's dream for marriage and parenting. And also, he says to us that he has a special message for the Father's Day celebration. So you don't want to miss it. If you're a man, an intended man, or a man who is about to get married, or you are a single parent as a man, then you have to be in that service to hear the message God's servant has. Anytime he comes out to say he has a message, it's really a message, and it's one that is thought-provoking, destiny-shaping, and also life-transforming. So our doors are open at 7:30 a.m. And don't forget, you could stream from wherever you are across the social media platforms, including what you are watching, the streaming platform you're watching the Gospel Manager from. Make it a date with us this Sunday, the 15th of June 2025, and we can't wait to receive you and host you, whether as our global audience or people who will be on site. Now, don't forget to take advantage of the bus schedule across Asaba Metropolis to take you to and fro, whether you're a student in DOU, Abuashiku, wherever you are, the buses are there to pick you to be part of that service. Don't forget also to send a special message to your father to celebrate them, and we will also take messages as you try, and we'll celebrate God's servant Dr. Maxwell Golden Egbe here at Gospel Manager. All right, so we'll move on to the next segment of questions, and this one says, "Good morning, Bishop. My name is Frank Musa. Sir, please, how do you scale a business in a struggling economy like Nigerians? Because we who are in business actually suffer a lot of things, but peculiar to amongst them is energy. Light is an issue for us who are business persons because we spend so much in electricity that it affects the business. However, how can we scale our business amidst this challenge and struggling economy in Nigeria?"
Wisdom. Know when to use everything. Know when to use everything, and then you are out of economic crisis. Premature comfort is our problem. People seek for premature comfort. That's why they have issues. When you don't know when to have comfort, it's like I was trying to ask somebody, I said, how can you live a certain level of life and you're not bothered about the outcome of it? How can you buy airtime of 3,000 naira and you don't have food to eat? How can you spend 3,000 naira for snacks and you don't have food to eat? And you don't have, so if you want to grow a business in this country, you must be wise. You can't be living like a rich man when you don't have anything to show for. So define your life. Know when certain things should be done. Know when you have to trek. Know when you have to off the light. Know when you have to use the light. Know when you have to stop by. I am the master of groceries. I can spend 200,000 naira to buy it, 300,000 naira to buy it. But I notice it's a waste. It's a waste. Why are you doing that? So let's treat our businesses in this country with wisdom now. Electricity is paid for, diesel is high, light, everything is getting, cost of living is very high. So you have to also manage yourself properly. And that way you can fit into the economic system of the nation. But if you neglect that, you're going to run into crisis.
Thank you so much, sir. Now we'll take the last question for this episode, and this is from a pastor. He says, "Good morning, Bishop. My name is Pastor Isaiah Maxwell, pastor in Lagos, Nigeria. Sir, please, my question is direct. How should a minister handle toxic loyalty or unhealthy expectations from members?"
I don't like to explain about others, I explain about myself. First, you have to mature yourself to know that expectation is a very costful experience. So you must manage how you give it, because you can be damaged because of that. So try to know that expectation is costly and know how to give it out. And for me, I will just define how I approach, I'd stay with you. I will not get myself involved anymore. And I will not make you very serious around the system. Because if I'm struggling to lead you, then I don't know what I'm doing with you, because I'm supposed to lead you. I'm not supposed to I'm to lead you. So if I'm struggling to do that, then you have a problem. I've always cracked this joke. I'm not asking you to steal, asking you to lie, or come and wash my car or clean my. I'm just telling you to serve the Lord. How is that supposed to be a problem? How will you now see me and you have attitude issues? How? I don't understand. The only man who should advise you, correct you, teach you. How can your pastor have issues with you? As long as he's not being ungodly with you, how is he having issues with you? The man is not ungodly with you. He's not doing ungodlities around you, and then he has issues with you. Why? So you can tell that if you don't define the expectations over those people, you will end up being hurt. So define it and place them how they have placed themselves. And when you do that, you'll be less bothered about the actions. For me, I won't even call you for anything again. I don't see myself calling you. When I notice the way you behave, I won't call you for anything again. You won't have access to me anymore. Because I don't want to get angry anytime I see you. Anytime I see you, I'll be offended. Because I'll be wondering why you are like that. So I try to make sure that I'm not involved in that. And I might have done a lot of talking to you. This is not the way to be. This is not the way. And you're not listening. So, and Christians are. I just feel somebody who is genuinely born again should not be like that. People are just churchgoers. They are not really Christians. Some people are just church. Have you heard believers talk? People talk. You hear them talk. You will even be ashamed that these are people that go to church with you. The way they talk and behave. There's no Christliness in them. Their tongue is not seasoned with salt. It's a lot of things wrong. So these guys are just churchgoers. They are not genuine Christians. Because if you're a genuine Christian, one of the signs of Christianity is the capacity to listen, teachability, then the attitude of responding to what you are taught. That's what a Christian is. And I shouldn't have a problem leading you if you're a child of God. For any reason. As long as you are not being taught the wrong things in church. So.
Okay, so he has another part of that question. And he says, Bishop, also, how can small ministries thrive in urban areas dominated by mega churches?
The choice is yours. Whatever you want to build is in your heart. There will always be systems that are better than you. But what do you have to offer? And that's what I keep saying to myself. There are systems better than you, but do you have anything different to offer? If you have something different to offer, then one day that small church also become a mega church. If you have something to offer. If you don't have, it will remain where it is. So do you have something to offer? Yes, then keep building it. It will end up at that same stage tomorrow.
So we'll come to an end with this episode today. We are so grateful to everyone who sent in their questions. Time is not on our side, but we will take other questions at the next episode when Gospel Manager returns on Monday. Don't forget, you could still send the link to this live stream to your friends, your families. They are always offline, so you could go anytime to go back to them, refer back to them, watch them, keep watching them, especially in the areas where you felt that they have actually affected your life. Share it to people, share it to your friends, your families, whether they are pastors. Let them know that God's Servant is always live on Mondays and on Fridays at Gospel Manager, 7 a.m. I'll leave the floor now for God's Servant to give his closing remarks, and I'll be right back to close.
You know, I am very bothered about the level of conversations we are having. So I want to admonish people to upgrade their conversations. Upgrade the way you see things, the way you talk, and the way you behave. Because the high level growth nature that the world is having, it also has to affect how we live. So you must improve your conversations. improve your behavior and improve the way you see things. Because at one time, when you sit with people whose IQ have grown beyond where you are, you would think you don't know anything. And that becomes a difficult thing because you are not understanding that progression in everything you do is important. Your character has to improve. Your speech has to improve. And the way you live has to improve by, I'm not saying change a car, improve the way you behave. Quality is not a gift given. You just progress yourself. And I want to believe that that is what is lacking today. You see people after 1 year, check their lives. They might have even gotten married, have children, but their characters have not changed. Their speech control is still there. The only thing that have changed is that they have a husband, they have a wife, they have children. But there's nothing very progressive in that person's behavior. Can't hold the conversation, can't translate instruction, can't do better beyond what you expect. And it's very difficult to see that we are almost messing up the control nature that God kept on the earth. I was talking to my wife the other day. I said, one of the countries people should be going to is China. They don't have a language. They don't have English, but they have a language. But they have brains. They are highly productive people. Heavily productive people. They are time-conscious people. And you can tell what they are producing there. Heavily productive people. So let's deal with our mind upgrade. It's very important. If we deal with that, we will change the cost of living. Our mind upgrade is poor. The moment we change the way we live, we will change the way we grow. And it's going to help us a lot. And I pray that everyone hearing me today will sit down and do a study of yourself. Do a quick study of who you are and put the upgrade around it. And I see God helping all of you. Have a wonderful week. And I ask the Lord to lead you and be conscious of the heart of Christ and stay in his provision and his safety. God bless you.
The words of God's servant, he has admonished us in this episode to change our conversations, our behaviors, and the way we see things. And he ended up saying that when we change the way we reason, we change the way we live. This is one of the reasons why we hold strongly here that life is beautiful, and you, my friend, you can handle it irrespective. Now, Gospel Manager returns on Monday at 7 a.m. and we can't wait to see you. Have a pleasant weekend, and don't forget it's Father's Day. Send us complimentary messages, especially for God's servant, Dr. Maxwell Egbe. We'll share them on Monday whilst we are live. And send to your father, celebrate them, and let them know that God loves them, and we also believe in them. Support them, pray for them, stand by them. They are our fathers, we love them, and we'll continue to root for them. Gospel Manager returns on Monday at 7 a.m. and we'll see you on that day. God bless you.
My name is Eyade Kelvin. I am using this medium to invite every man out there to our special men's convention holding later in this month of June 2025.
And I am Patrick Orisheje. The event is taking place on the 14th of June, which is Saturday, to the 15th of June, which is a Sunday. On Saturday, the time is 4:30 p.m. and for Sunday, it's 6:30 a.m., 8:30 a.m. and 10:30 a.m. Hoping to see you there.
And it's happening live in Honor World International, Royal Bus City, along the Bujo Express Road. My name is Emmanuel Okili. See you there.
Come and witness favor. Come and see open doors. Come and pray for your family. This year's convention is going to be awesome. It's going to be well loaded. The Lord bless you.
The theme of the men's convention for this year 2025 is irresponsible. And ministry life is our father, Dr. Bishop Golden Maxwell Egbe. I hope to see you there. My name is Deacon Peter Mod. See you there!